I'm going to show you 5 easy exercises that you can use to link breath to movement. The idea, as you've watched in my other videos, is to use your breath in a mindful way so you can embrace serotonin, oxytocin, and turn off all the distractions that we have around us. And if you do it on a regular basis, it's almost as good as taking an anti-anxiety and antidepressant medicine, and without the side effects. So this will also be something that you might be able to springboard into an exercise routine when the spring or the summer come up. Essentially, all we're going to do is 5 different exercises, all based on a very strong stance. When you take a stance, it's usually front foot and back foot. Front foot faces forward, back foot faces about 45 degrees, wider than hip width, just so that you have a little bit of movement. And the idea is to, with your shifting weight, try to hold most of your weight, about 70% in the front leg during the front movement, and then when you move back, 70% to the back leg. You never want to lift off completely, that's unbalanced. But you just essentially move. Eventually you get your hips so that they're facing forward and your shoulders facing forward. And then you put your arms into it. Inhale, exhale. Inhale, 70%, exhale, 70%. You see how I'm shifting the weight. I'm keeping my knees kind of bent because it's easier on the joints. And then you're turning on the muscles of the quads, the calves, the foreleg, and the hamstring to move. You're linking this to breath. Inhale, exhale. You move your hands like you're moving them in a pool. Back and forth. Inhale, exhale. Inhale, and you go slowly. I'm just doing this to show you, for the sake of my video, the movement. You can even do it to Tai Chi or Qigong speed. But you'll slow down your breath too, which is a good thing, as long as you're comfortable with it. 2 weeks ago I was on a TV show and I showed the host how to do 4-7-8 breathing, but I didn't dive into it and couldn't explain the whole thing, and she started to get a little anxious. I think when you're not used to controlling your breath, that's what happens. But this is exactly why we want to teach control of breath, linking to movement. So I just switched over. Front foot straight forward, back foot's 45 degrees. Again, I'm just shifting weight. 70% front leg, 30% back. Now 70% back leg, 30% front. You're just shifting, and the arms are following like they're in a pool going slow. You pretend you have resistance. So you do 20 repetitions on each side, always linking to breath. Deep breath in, exhale. Inhale, hold your shoulders back, let this thing called the heart chakra radiate out, throat chakra out. And you can do an inhale and exhale audible, or you can just do what's called Ujjayi breathing in yoga. It's totally up to you. We just have to practice the linking of breath to movement. Now we go back for the second exercise, and instead of going down, we go up with the hands. Down, up, down, up. And the weight distribution is about the same again. Even if I don't move my arms, I'm still 70% front, 70% back. 70% front, 70 back. 70 front, 70 back. Now if you have a shoulder problem, you might not want to go all the way high. You'll have a problem with, you want to control the way your scapula move up so you don't impinge your shoulders. You can keep them down. Even in yoga, when we have arms overhead, we always control the way the shoulder blades move. So up like you're blocking, down like before. Up like you're blocking, down like before. My teacher used to tell me catching a beach ball. Slow movements, inhale. Slow movements, exhale. Again, you're working on balance. This is excellent for Parkinson's disease, excellent for arthritis where you can't move. It warms things up, it really does. Even keeping in the bent position is almost like a chair pose in yoga. It generates a lot of heat. We're not going deep because you're going to have knee pain. We're just going to go with a little flexion. That's all. Then you go to the other side. Front foot straight, back foot 45 degrees, up, down, up, down, up, down. In Aikido, everything is always, you have to be stable. If you're stable, then your opponent will be unstable. And that's how you defeat your attacker. Inhale, exhale, inhale, exhale, watch your shoulders, exhale, throat and heart chakra out, and proper posture. The next thing we'll do is, I like to call it a beach ball exercise. I'm going to show you why. So, here's our beach ball. What we usually do is the same position, front foot forward, back foot about 45 degrees, a little more, and the beach ball's hidden. What we'll do is take a step like we're going to go into a horse stance or an equal balance stance. Beach ball goes up. Now I'm equally balanced on both sides and I'm slightly bent with the knees. In karate, this is called horse stance. Arms up, and then pivot, and down. So now my front foot's facing back where I was before, 45 degrees out with the rear foot, and I'm hiding the beach ball. I put most of my weight on my back foot and ball, beach ball, back here again. So come up again, it goes up, essentially a block, equal weight distribution, inhale, and pivot, exhale. Inhale, exhale. Inhale, exhale. Inhale, exhale. Inhale, exhale. This is an Aikido movement where when you block, you actually block and then take the arm and control the attacker. But here we're just, again, worrying about movement. Linking breath, inhale, to movement, exhale, and balance. And then we're starting to throw a little bit of truncal torsion or rotation. So we're warming up our obliques, lumbar spine, and ab area. So we've already incorporated the lower extremities with the first two and this one. We started to incorporate shoulders, and now we're incorporating trunk. So you see how we can keep on moving. And then do the opposite too. If you want to start with the right leg, straight on, back leg 45 degrees, balance to the back, 70%, come up, equal weight distribution, and then down. Up, down. Block, throw, block, throw. Inhale, exhale. Inhale, exhale. So that's beach ball exercise. The fourth one will be what we usually use for, it's usually when an opponent grabs your wrist. What I like to do is it helps you balance and pivot on the front leg and the front arm. So same side, I'm going to go ahead and just do it. So same side, I was taught to pretend there's a pole going between the hand, the palm, and then the foot. So these always stay in one plane. You pivot around the pole, and then present. Pivot around the pole, and present. Pole, present. Inhale, exhale. Inhale, exhale. So you know, I'm exaggerating my movement just so you can see it on camera, but you never want to go up like that. And whenever you go on your toes, you're off balance. The idea, again, with movement, especially linking this breath to movement exercise, is I just want you grounded, just like a Tai Chi movement. So don't go so high, but again, I'm just doing that to show you the extremes of movement. So again, the objective, I'm going to switch legs and hands. So the objective is to pretend there's a pole down the hand, foot, pivot around the pole, and stabilize. Pivot around the pole, and stabilize. Heart chakra out, throat chakra out, third eye. Inhale, exhale. Inhale, exhale. Inhale, exhale. It's you can keep on going back and forth, so you have about 20 each. This one's my favorite. It's usually for getting out of the way of an attacker and then coming down again. So it's just scooting off to the side. But again, the objective is you're actually able to pivot on one foot and then shift weight and redistribute weight. So the objective again is you're getting your knees, your feet, your toes, your heels, your hips to communicate with the brain. If you haven't done exercises in a while, you're a couch potato, then usually what happens is there's bad coordination. The brain talking to these things called Golgi tendon organs in each of the joints, it kind of loses connection. So it makes it really easy to twist, especially if they're on an unstable surface like ice or rocks, or it just makes it easier to fall down. So these aren't muscle building exercises, but they are ways to start to get some movement in your lower extremities again. The communication between brain and joints, knee joint, hip joint, toes. It's called engrams. If you develop the engrams again, then before you know it, if you're about to fall, you're off of your foot or off of your ankle before it tears, sprains, or breaks. That's why gymnasts are so good. When they're about to fall down, they're immediately off and they roll. But you can't depend on that if you don't do any form of balance exercise. The last exercise is essentially just a stagnant movement. I'm going to face you now. So it's the horse stance again. The root chakra is projected down. Knees, legs are straight, are nice and strong. A modified chair pose. Chair pose in yoga is like this. Here in horse stance, we're kind of wide-legged and very balanced. The solar plexus, the throat, the heart, third eye, everything's balanced and facing forward. The idea is you hold your hands in front of you, you come off to the side, legs stay where they are, you're essentially twisting at the hips and twisting at the shoulders, and you lay down. Up again, block, lay down. You're essentially trying to catch your opponent and encourage your opponent to fall to the side. Now, whether you inhale and exhale, inhale and exhale, or just work with movement, that's fine too. We're warming up the quads, we're working on the obliques. You're also getting a little bit of morning stretch with the twisting action, the thoracic, the lumbar, and the cervicals. Even the shoulder can be used. When you twist to the side, pectoralis muscle gets stretched, and then the rhomboids also get stretched. And the true work of this exercise is you stay stable when nage, or the opponent, falls to the side unbalanced. Again, whether you want to understand the concepts of Aikido or whether you just want to work on warming up your legs and linking your breath, inhale, exhale, inhale, exhale, inhale, exhale. I like to have the hands in the position where I'm just holding and supporting your practitioner, the other person that you're working with. But if you've ever seen this, it is a nasty movement or nasty technique if it's done quickly. I don't want you to do anything quickly. This should all be nice and smooth and slow. Again, I want you to work on breath. If you want to link the 4, 7, 8 to this, you can, but it would be very slow. So if you wanted to, you can get a really good warm-up in the morning and you get your 4, 7, 8 breath technique out of the way. Most of the patients I see, I tell them try or begin with 4, 7, 8, 5 minutes in the morning when you first start your day before you get out of bed, 5 minutes at night before you go to sleep. And then you work your way up. Andy Weil usually tells you to just go through a couple different cycles. I think that if you're advanced enough and you're not dizzy, and you're stable enough, you can really get an endorphin rush, a serotonin high when you do it for a prolonged amount of time. If you want to just go for mantra meditation, any form of meditation, visualization, breath work, then you do that too. But the objective is that you do something in the morning, do something in the evening. If you can get this kind of movement linked, then you're on your way to not only lowering your blood pressure, taking care of arthritis, working on balance, you're also on your way to having that serotonin high because of the breath link that you're doing. So hopefully this gives you a little bit of inspiration. If you get tired of these, then you go on to other videos that I've shown, or hire an exercise physiologist or personal trainer, maybe even a physical therapist, to show you what the next step would be dependent on your deficiencies or what you're looking for.